I absolutely adore this episode. I mean, this is the first time Rainbow Dash and Twilight got an episode together.
T-Sparks and the Dashinator!
Like, ever. And I am darn pleased that it turned out so nicely. This is a serious boon for everybody who supports the correct ship. This pony knows what's up. She's like, I ship you. Check out my DeviantArt. This episode manages our expectations really well. I mean, speaking from an alternate timeline where I hadn't read the episode description weeks ago, starts with Rainbow Dash saying something like, as soon as I'm done delivering all this exposition, I'm gonna do all these things I just said I was gonna do. But then you get the twist, like, oh no, it's a map episode, and you're like, I wasn't looking forward to either one of those things happening. So your expectations are in this weird place where you're like, your move episode, which is the most exciting place for your expectations to be. Because you have a heightened sense of awareness. Heightened enough to notice stuff like this bracket was there before Twilight drew it. Or like, did he jump to the other side of this purple pony to pose for this shot? And that this background doesn't quite reach the edge of the frame. But most importantly, these two ponies, the actual focus of our friendship problem, are awesome. The amount of times they flip the script on how you think these two are gonna turn out goes from teasing you for the sake of making the episode less predictable to eventually hitting you with the realization that these are actually just really good characters. Like, you think they're just some jockey douche and some yes-man hanger-on riding his coattails, but then you find out that even though this guy is a douchebag, he really cares about his friend.
I have absolutely zero doubts about myself. But this isn't about me. I'm worried for Vapor.
And she's been inadvertently handicapping both of them for so long that she's become complacent with her own social anxiety.
You did great. Me?
This is firmly the best friendship problem we have had in a map episode to date. I mean, look at this. You got some bitch magically robbing people of their individuality. You have an entire race of people who are inherently rude. You have an entire city full of people who are inherently rude. You have two entire families that are both inherently rude. Two struggling small business owners who didn't have a friendship problem at all. I don't know why this was a map episode, or why it exists at all for that matter. And a guy who is super lucky that his stupid clients don't understand how to go solo. And now this? This episode, unlike the other map episodes, goes into a real issue that most people will face at some point in their life. And that's the battle between boosting confidence and encouraging self-improvement. And this episode takes a way more balanced approach than something like, say, Whiplash.
Not my fucking tempo!
Less like Terrence Fletcher saying,
The next Charlie Parker would never be discouraged.
More like Master Roshi from Dragon Ball saying, no matter how good you are, you're not the best. Sort of. I mean, it's closer anyway. The best part about this episode is that everyone involved is right and wrong in about equal measure. Twilight is right that the best way to solve the problem is to tell Sky what's up.
But you can't improve if you don't think you have to.
But she doesn't realize that a hit to his self-confidence like that would completely demoralize him.
Can't mess with a flyer's confidence.
Because he's a douche. But at the same time, this is something he really wants, so he practices even when it feels like he's hopeless.
I thought I might find you here.
Dash is right that everyone needs their confidence, but not to some insane degree where they lack understanding of the reality of their own situation. And can I just say that Dash never taking this opportunity to tell off Sky even though he's a fucking douchebag is great. Being loyal to her friends doesn't make her the element of loyalty, that's expected.
You're supposed you dumb motherfucker!
It's being loyal to the people she has no investment in that makes her a great character. And Vapor, well, I already said that a few lines ago, but she was doing it for what she thought and, well, if I'm being honest, what actually was a really good reason. And this hoof shake, it's the greatest thing I've ever seen. This episode is an instant classic, just because of that. And can I just take this moment to say how fucking stoked I was to see this bro hoof at the end of the episode instead of some bullshit ass repetition of the moral we just saw executed over the course of the entire third act? Now, my only problem with this episode is the exact same problem I had with one of my all-time favorite episodes, Testing 1, 2, 3. And that's one fucking practice session, and you're suddenly the best thing since sliced bread? Seriously, guys? It was slightly more forgivable in Testing 1, 2, 3 because you can assume she crammed and the information was still fresh in her mind, and the test was probably not very complicated, so you have reasonable doubt for assuming she got 100. But Sky went from this to this because his buddy yelled encouraging words at him?
You got this, Sky!
I mean, I thought his problem was that he lacked the physical ability to do fundamental flying exercises. She should have said some technical mumbo-jumbo to him, like dihedral wing angles, blah, 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 blah. But the whole
Flying is like 30% skill and 70% confidence.
thing really shines a whole new light to the opening sequence of Sonic Rainboom,
You're gonna cheer for me like that?
which is already one of the best pre-theme sequences in the whole show. So yeah, final verdict, this episode was amazing, even if it will inevitably lead to a bunch of people shipping these two unjustly. Like, come on, friends can hug it out platonically, even if they are different genders. Like this pony, what does she know?